No sense of style. Mike got $25 for Christmas. The day after Christmas, Mike walked to Derek's house and handed him his money. Derek handed him his spy kit. Nice doing business with you, Derek said. Likewise, Mike said. Derek and his parents spent the rest of winter break in Hawaii. The first day back at school, he was glum from jet lag. Mike was glum too. They slumped together, side by side, at a cafeteria table. How was Hawaii? Mike asked. Mosquitoes? Derek grumbled. Huh, Mike said. How's the spy kit? Derek asked. It had taken Mike about 48 hours to understand why Derek was willing to part with the spy kit. It was only as exciting as those it spied on. Sure, in the world of international intrigue, it might be thrilling, but Mike didn't have that kind of material to work with. It turned out that the most fascinating person in his family was Pickles the cat. Not a person at all. Now he was broke again, with nothing to show for it. Mike conveyed all this with one equal sigh. Derek nodded sadly. Why didn't you warn me? Said Mike. It's one of those lessons you've got to learn for yourself, Derek said. Besides, I wanted your money. Just then, an argument broke out nearby between Chloe and Violet. Chloe was the most fashionable girl in third grade. She wore trendy new clothes every day. Violet's clothes were never new, yet somehow she dressed with enough flair that Derek and Mike had a nickname for her, the Funky Fashionina.
Fashionista.
Fashionista. I would never wear somebody else's stuff, Chloe was saying. I mean, how do you know they didn't die in it? Violet shrugged. You don't, she said. But nowadays, they have this nifty invention called a washing machine. Mike and Derek laughed. I guess you can't help it, Chloe sniffed. I can't afford new clothes. You can't afford new clothes. I prefer the challenge of shopping at thrift stores, Violet said. Plus, sometimes I buy stuff there and sell it to the second-hand store. It's almost like a business. Mike was already listening. He had a little crush on Violet actually. But now he leaned forward. Business, you say? He prompted. Violet nodded. Thrift stores take donated clothes to sell them cheap. Second-hand stores buy clothes, so they tend to be pickier and charge a little more. If you know how to curate, you can buy at the cheap store, sell to the picky store, and make a profit. You just have to know what other people want. Mike gazed at Violet. A head for business this girl had. At home, Mike turned a cold eye on his wardrobe. Several of the clothing items he'd gotten for Christmas still had tags on it. Surely those would bring good money at the second-hand store. He threw in a couple of sweaters that were getting too small and his dress shoes. He'd always say to those. Of course, he couldn't ask his parents to take him to the second-hand store. His money-making schemes always seemed to unnerve them. So instead, Mike told his mom that the box contained a school project. He and Derek were working together. She drove him in the box to Derek's house. Derek told his dad they need a ride to the second-hand store, and his dad dropped them with the cardboard box. At the counter, Mike watched in pleased anticipation as the buyer examined his items one by one. I curated them myself, Mike explained proudly. He watched a large pile forming on one side of the box. On the other side lay 2 pairs of jeans. "What's wrong with those jeans?" he asked. "They're brand new." The buyer moved the box out of the way and set his hands on the counter. His fingernails were painted metallic blue. "Nothing," said the buyer. "We'd like to buy them." "Oh," said Mike. "So, just the jeans," the buyer said. "We can give you $8 in cash or 12 in trade." So, Mike began again. And if you want," the buyer went on, "we can give you $20 cash for that coat." Slowly, Mike looked down. "This coat?" he asked. "That coat," the buyer said. "It's so retro." Indeed it was. Mike's dad had worn the coat when he was a little boy. Mike was just growing into it. "Good riddance," said Derek. "Now you can ask your parents for a new one." "So you don't want this other stuff?" Mike asked. The buyer shook his head. "Do you want to sell the jeans?" he asked. "I do," said Mike. "And the coat." He peeled off and took the cash. He reached in the cardboard box for a couple of his two small sweaters. He pulled them before he and Derek left the store. Mike knew better than to ask his parents for a new coat. But the next morning, when they were heading out the front door, his dad asked him where his coat was. I left it at Derek's yesterday, Mike lied. It's January, said Mr. McCarthy. You can't go out with a coat. I'll call Derek's parents right now, said Mrs. McCarthy. Maybe they could send her to school with Derek. She grabbed her phone, but Mike stopped her. Don't, he said. His parents stared at him. I sold the coat, Mike mumbled. To Twice Nice. And those jeans I got for Christmas. Okay. Mike watched Violet and her aunt sell to the same buyer. Today, his fingernails were magenta, Mike noticed. And something else. After looking through Violet's pile of clothes, the guy took almost everything. Mike watched her, except a stack of cash. He sighed. She made business look so easy, and turned back to the manager. Normally, we wouldn't do this, the manager started. But with a single look, Mrs. McCarthy shut her down. The manager sold the coat back to Mike at cost, $20. They had paid him for it. The jeans, however, were already gone. No worries, Violet said. The thrift store down the street is having a red tag sale. She and her aunt took Mike and his mom there, and Violet helped Mike find 2 pairs of jeans. They were broken in, and Mike actually liked them better than his Christmas jeans. One problem remained, though. When it came to business, he never failed to fail. What was wrong with him?
Good job.
We need a little more practice until we pass. You passed, but we can still get more stars. Oh yeah, don't stop now. A perfect score is close. You passed, but we can still get more stars. You're amazing. A perfect score.